Listen, don't make a scene, all
I
right?
want to talk to that fucking bitch.
Hey, be fucking nice. Don't fuck up in here.
You know, sometimes we get so wrapped up in how a problem bothers us, we don't see what the problem really is.
All y'all do the same shit. Whether if you was some homeless shit trying to dig cigarettes out of a trash can or you living in the White House.
She's going to have issues for the rest of her life.
Emotionally daunting and hurtful when I just keep hitting a wall, you know.
The whole reason why I really didn't, pursue it because he was a good guy.
You gotta know when to say when, bitch. Our coochie cutter days are over. Forever 21 was a lie. Sit down. Stop playing with yourself.
Women have it hard, okay? Women have it hard. You have no idea what women go through every day, okay?
Let them genuinely talk. You'll see real fast like, oh my God, this bitch is dumb as hell.
I've slept with over 200 men.
200 men?
I know you're fed up, ladies, but keep your head up.
The reason why these men keep threatening you about being single and dying alone and you're a cat lady is because you being single is the greatest threat, especially to this modern day man. Don't fall for his nonsense talking about you gonna be a cat lady. Say thank you.
Men are inside of women's down their guys are literally into a girl's.
We'll return after these messages.
She wouldn't have to resort to online dating. If her personality was just so great and she was amazing.
She might not have told you this, but my daughters do not respect men. So I'm letting you know that now, and I'm not joking when I tell you that, brother. And they have mouths when it comes to them getting into disagreements and engagements with men. And they will verbally put some lashings on you, brother, because they don't respect men. I'm just giving it to you forefront, brother, so you know what you're going in.
I am so sick of men. I am so sick of y'all's ass.
The majority of these men are either, all, as far as I'm concerned, all of these men are either cheaters, will physically, emotionally, mentally hit you. They will disrespect you. They are on the DL, bisexual, gay, whatever.
Okay, first of all, I didn't miss the red flags. I looked at them and thought, damn, that's sexy. And that's my problem.
They don't know how to make plans. They don't know how to be good communicators. They don't know what they want. And they act like children.
Lots of things wrong when it comes to women. I'm not a devil, and by no means am I a monster.
Oh Lord, I know. If she says something intelligent, I'll give her credit for it. But I'm willing. There's gonna be some dumbass shit.
I'm going. I want my money right now.
Don't get your money. Don't worry.
The arrangement is over.
No kidding. No kidding!
I'm not just having sex with one, not two, but 3 different guys. That's right. I'm a player, but that's cool because I got it like that.
We're the leftovers, Kendra.
Who's the leftover?
We're the leftovers, and I saw it. I read an article.
Who's the we? Who's the we?
They said that anybody above the age of 30 are leftovers.
Honey, I'm not leftover or nothing. I'm a specialty. So let me tell you something. I'm trying to be kind.
This concept of I could do better, bitch. At least 85% of men who approached women were really out of the woman's league. The only thing that kept a woman in a league was because she looked a little cute and she might suck a dick. That was it. At least 85% of men who have approached 100% of women were out of the woman's league, for real. Like on some real shit, not just, looking cute for that 5 minutes, but on some real, like on character levels, intellect levels, the man's out of her league.
Don't fuck with me, fellas! This ain't my first time at the rodeo.
A lot of these men are sticking their eggplants down the throat of Billy's mouth.
you tell someone you're single and you look good, I'm riding around him. I got a drop top for the summer, a truck for the winter, you know, the work truck out front, and folks is looking at the outside like, why is she single? Why does she got? There's nothing wrong with being single. I'm single, sexy, happy, living and enjoying life. And when the right one comes along, by the grace of God, I'll know it, and we'll move ahead from there.
Okay.
Did you know that 25% of women in the United States are getting treated for a mental illness? That means 75% of them are running around untreated.
Misogynist. As he said, misogyny is still real in our community.
I would say, number one, I know it's a shock to everyone, but sexism remains real and a very pertinent issue. But
most people just don't want to deal with them because on average, they just are not good, genuine people to be around. They're good to look at. They're good to work in brothels. They're good to, try to take over a bar. They're good when they're handing you food as like they're a waitress or they're on a call center call or something like that. But anything other than that, we really don't want 85% of y'all around. Just leave. Like it's sad to say, but it's the reality on it.
Women will continue to only hook up with the top 10% of men because there is literally no reason for them to mess with anybody else.
The most handsome man I had ever seen in my life, and I decided that he needed to be mine.
So he drops her off and tells her it's not him, it's her.
I can feel him running through my veins. He's still in me.
He was gorgeous. He was 6'3".
Oh,
He's
gosh.
been an engineer at Apple for 11 years and 39. He was way out of my league. And he did not ask for my number at the end of it.
Will I ever stop crying over emotionally unavailable men? No. But will I at least stop trying to date them? Also, no.
How come every time you have sex with someone, they leave?
Whatever you want. I'll cook for you, wait on you, make
Who
love
planned
to
the last
you.
date, and does any of it actually matter? Today,
I can make you happy, Josh. I can make you so
Welcome back
happy.
to the show for men. Today's video, dating made me feel worthless. This guy's gonna
Okay, because I'm the type of woman, I have money. I got my own money. I get my own bag. I don't got to deal with nobody's shit. So if you're treating me how I don't want to be treated, if you doing shit you ain't got no business doing in a relationship, we're done. And I don't got to stick around. A lot of women settle. I don't. I know my worth. And a lot of people don't like that. They don't want you to know your worth and what you deserve. I do.
If you keep saying, oh, she's too masculine, what it means is you too feminine. If I got more bars than you, that's really a diss to you, not a diss to me.
You don't offer nothing here of other than an orgasm. That's about all you offer me is an orgasm. That's it. Okay, everything else is going to be a constant headache, nightmare, walking on eggshells, whatever the fuck. Everything else is going to be that. There is no benefit that after the orgasm, there's not much benefit really to keep one woman around too long.
Whatever happens in the end, I will be a strong, powerful woman. It's you. Hi, Stacey.
If she thinks it's anything less than the best, then it's not going to happen.
I'm always right in the end.
She has no problem attracting men, but the problem is she can't keep a man around because once they realize who she really is, they can't fucking stand her.
And when she's a bitch, you let her know you've been a bitch. And if she get mad, look at the bitch being mad.
Good afternoon, Divine
We
Photos.
have the ability to be somewhat what you call
Shout out
difficult.
to everybody
It's
hit the
not
like button.
difficult. We just have a baseline.
Let's get into it. If you want me to stay on 2 hours, I'm looking to meet a $10 live stream goal. Cash App, PayPal, pinned to the top of the chat. Also in the description. Or you can do super chat, super sticker. That's the dollar symbol on the right of the chat box. Oh my God. See, shit just keep popping up on the side that I'm just getting backed up now.
okay.
Ridiculous shit keep popping up on me. But anyway. Let's get into this. Everybody hit the like button.
Dating made me feel worthless. You know, I've gone on dates and come home feeling worse than when I left. I've sat on dating apps all night without getting anything back. And really, in both cases, I was left worse than before I started.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So, dating apps are the garbage can of women. 'Cause, okay, think about it.
most women. Okay, let's put it like this. Most women who have any type of attractiveness on them whatsoever, or even if she's just average looking and not too fat. So any woman who's, let's just say this, any woman who's a fit 5 or above, a fairly fit 5 or above, or even a chubby 5 or above, just don't be hideous and just don't be too fat. You can even be a little fat, but just don't be too fat. You have options and had options from high school to college to early 20s, all that. You knew people who knew people. You had every opportunity to lock down a guy, on your level or just a little bit better. So by the time a woman got to sign up to a dating app to try to find a dude as a halfway decent looking woman, oh, that's the garbage can of women. Oh, that's the fucked up of the fucked up. Because you're not gonna swipe on them if they just too ugly or just in most cases too fat. I know some are into that, but that should be the red flag in itself. She ain't too fat. She ain't too ugly. Why the fuck is she here at 25, 26, 27? Going on 10 years on the dating market. Even if she had one guy try to holler at her, let's just say 2. Even if she had 2 guys trying to holler at her a year, and that's me super lowballing it for a chubby 5. 2 guys try to holler at you a year. Let's say you 28. That's what, 10 years of 2 guys a year? So 20 guys. No, even if we do the math, okay, some of those guys wasn't her type. Look, that's at least 4 or 5 suitable guys who you could have totally made a relationship work with. So this idea that you're going to go on a dating app and find this prize is delusion. Maybe it's male delusion, I guess. Yeah, let's think about this, everybody. Let's think about this, everybody. We're going to take it slow. Let's take it slow. T-shirts made. Okay, y'all probably don't want those. I was thinking about getting the Let's Take It Slow T-shirts made, but I don't know if we have enough buyers yet to make it worth my while. Hold on, let me see what we look like on Rumble. All right, we're looking pretty good on Rumble. 5 people watching on Rumble. So let's break this down. I don't think this is an ugly dude. I think he said he's 5'9". Not a bad looking dude. The glasses make him look nerdy. He doesn't look like his body is fit. I think he said he make decent money. I don't know what that is. It's a big difference from 75K to like 150K. Say work in construction. And I know some people can make like really good money, like 6 figures in construction, depending on what you do or whatever. I could be wrong. Y'all could correct me below if I'm wrong. But this is what a lot of guys believe. They think they're going to go on a dating app as an 8 or below man on a scale from 1 to 10. And they're going to go on a dating app and cheat the system and pull them a 6 and above woman by sneaking in on a dating app. Bro, what do you think you're going to say on a dating app that guys who look better than you, who taller than you, who make more money than you haven't said in real life to lock her down by this point? Like, that's how you got to think about it. Even if you were above average guy, let's say a 7 or 8 or below, bro, there's nothing you're going to say that hasn't already been said by men better than you. That's one way to look at it. And I already told y'all, women look at the fact that you have to come on a dating app and try to messenger on a dating app. They see it as coward shit. You're hiding behind the internet to try to pull bitches, and they don't respect that. That's already working against you, regardless if you look perfect and you are 6'3" with a great job in that. It's still working against you that you had to holler at on a dating app. Because let's be real, the dudes who get all the action on dating apps, they don't have to send messages first. So the fact that you even had to send a message first, she already looking at you sideways. Because she know the guys that she really want on here, she have to message first. So the fact that you messaged her first, she already seeing you as lower value than her. But anyway, I'm gonna let the video play. But I want to say one more thing. And well, okay, and let me expose myself real quick here. I mean, I've used dating apps, and it was some coward shit when I did it. I mean, I'm not knocking men for using dating apps because men got to try to get in where they can fit in because women aren't attracted to men generally speaking. So you got to try to use all avenues to see what you can get. I ain't really knocking it. I'm just telling you the reality of it. But dating apps are for top 5% men to run through hoes and for 80% of women to get ran through. Also, there's another use for the bottom 80% women. It's a ego boost for them after they get pumped and dumped by the guy they really want to maybe go on a date with a bottom 95% guy or get a compliment from a bottom 90% guy. So it's a fuck market for Chad and Tyrone. Well, it's a fuck market for Chad and Tyrone and most women. And then it's a self-esteem booster for most women too. But yeah, the dating apps are not for, bottom 95% of men. That's the demographic it's definitely not for. But let's let them cook a little bit.
Dating made me feel worthless. I've gone on dates and come home feeling worse than when I left. I've sat on dating apps all night without getting anything back. And really, in both cases, I was left worse than before I started. And, with the apps, the silence is really the rejection, is when you go on these apps and you don't get anything back. You see all these people and you swipe and you think that there's just a plethora of people out there. And, you're sitting there thinking that you're going to get some matches back and you get nothing. Or, you see that you get some likes, but you think to yourself, oh, I've already swiped through everybody, so they're obviously the ones that I've swiped no on.
So okay, a few things I want to touch on. First, I'll touch on my experiences. I've been there. I've been lonely in a position in my life, looking for somebody, looking for a mate. And I remember, because I'm trying to think how long it was a year or two. I think I might have been on a year or two drought. So I was feeling pretty lonely. And I was on dating apps, hitting chicks up, and as you know, for men, the success rate, unless you're just undeniably that guy, is fucking horrible. So I was striking out on dating apps. I was going on talking or having talking stages. They would ghost, or it would be some bullshit, and I would ghost. And then I went on a few dates, but it was like single moms and shit, like 34-year-old single moms who live with their sister or some shit. It was garbage. But that's what dating apps are, garbage can of women, like I said. Because we can go back to one of the most important catchphrases on this show, on this channel. There is no good reason for a woman to be single past 25. Right? So why would I think I'm gonna get some good. I didn't know any better back then though. But now, if I was talking to my younger self, like, yeah, why would you think you're gonna get something good on a dating app? If she was so fucking great, she wouldn't need a dating app. So I mean, dating apps essentially are the single mother hub, the fat bitch hub, the ugly bitch hub. And I'm not being mean. I'm just having fun. You know, we don't call people ugly in real life. This is the internet, so we can just do reckless shit. But you know, don't call people ugly in real life. It's not nice. You know, people can't help how they look. Now, if you want to make fun of they snuffleupagus lashes, okay, don't do that either. That's rude too. But you can think it in your head. Anyway, where was I? No, I want to tell y'all a quick story. So it's funny, like even when I was like getting on talking stages with, 30 plus single moms who ain't quite in shape and all that, they still had an attitude like I had to jump through hoops to get them, and they were still being hyper judgmental about every little thing about me. Where are you gonna get a better job or this and that? Like, who the fuck are y'all? I mean, I didn't say this, but in retrospect, it's like, who the fuck did they think they were? They were in no position on the dating market to be picky about me. I mean, they were attracted to me. That's why they even swiped on me and met me in person. But as far as like after the attraction, being super picky about every detail of my life, they were in no position. Trust me. Oh, and let me clear something up that X said, because I said dating apps are women see dating apps as coward shit for men. Like the man had to be a coward. He don't got the nuts to go get a bitch in real life, but it don't work like that in reverse. See, nobody looks at a woman as a coward no matter what. No matter what a bitch do. A woman can run off the front line in the military and they'll give it a pass. I mean, I'm not saying they'll actually give it a pass. I don't know about the military, but I'm talking about society. She's not going to be shunned in society. They're going to be like, oh, we understand. I mean, I'm sure it had to be scary. Like, there's no such thing in society's eyes. There's no such thing as a female coward. So that's why the same rule doesn't apply in the reverse. But anyway, I remember going out on a date with one of these train wreck chicks, and I just knew after the date. I mean, it wasn't even like that. It was a horrible date. I mean, it was just an average date. It was cool. But after the date, I realized like, okay, this isn't this isn't my person. This ain't about to work out. So another waste of time. And I remember walking around at the store just being depressed. Like, damn, I'm really gonna be alone for the rest of my life. At that point, that's what I was thinking. Um, and I remember being sad and depressed about it. And then after the like I said, it wasn't a bad date, but I knew after the date, like this wasn't it, right? So I was sad and depressed. And then I hit up this one chick. Um, we met a couple times. I knew her from somewhere. To see if I could kind of rekindle that, which was a horrible idea because she was a single mom and some more shit. A single mom with a sketchy past, but she had a nice ass, bars. So I hit her, and then when I text her, I think she said she had a boyfriend. So I was really depressed that night. So I can concur with what he's saying. Like, you get on the dating apps, you fail, you feel rejected, you go on some dates and it don't go nowhere, or it was some bullshit, and you feel even more depressed than when you weren't on the dating apps or didn't go on a date. So I totally get where you're coming from. But let's let him cook some more.
Swipe no on.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. He said he would go through all the people he liked and it wouldn't work out, but then he would see some new likes, but he would know that it was the people he already swiped no on. Well, here's the harsh reality, brother. Here's the harsh reality. How shallow are you? Because the dudes, I'm not the dudes. The women you swipe no on, I mean, that's probably that's probably your level. Okay, let me be a little more clear and concise. Shout out to Born from Pain. I don't know if I've seen you in here before, but salute. Born from Pain. I'm trying to see who Born From Pain is. Born From Pain, can you say your age and gender and how long you've been watching the channel or not? But it'd be nice if you could. But no, the people you're swiping no on, that might be your level, bro. Or to put it more simply, if you're not a fucking Chad these days on the dating market, it's chubby 4s and 5s who probably don't look that great in the face. Better than a single mom. So if you really are that lonely and you really want some companionship and you really want to make a connection with another human, then you should be able to do it with a chubby 5. If not, I don't feel sorry for you. The same way I don't feel sorry for the woman who like, oh, I'm so lonely, I want companionship, this isn't fair, but won't swipe on anything less than an 8. And you got certain ICEL dudes who say, or Raymond, for y'all who know who Raymond is, Raymond Thoughts in Mind or whatever. He got ran off of YouTube. But anyway, Raymond, he's an ICEL, and he said something of the fact of, and I've heard multiple dudes say this, I don't think it's asking for too much to get a kind of cute, fit girl. And well, maybe in theory, not. But in the modern dating sphere, it is asking for too much. If you're not an 8, 9, or 10 guy. That's just how the dating market works now. And from what I understand about history, I mean, you weren't just entitled to a cute, fit chick just because you exist and have a job. Even though, well, it was probably a lot easier to get you just a cool little fit 5 or 6 if just with a job. The rates of people who could get a fit 6 was a lot higher just by being an average dude, decades and decades ago. But it don't work like that. So if you're not Chad or Tyrone or close to Chad and Tyrone, take your chubby 5 and move on. Bars. Let's let them cook some more. We ain't gonna stay on this the whole stream, but I definitely wanted to kind of go over this to break some stuff down. So he ain't that lonely. I just want to just be very clear. Because as he just stated, there's women who are swiping on him, but he's not interested in them. And I'm not saying he has to be interested in them, but you ain't that lonely then.
Ones that I've swiped no on, it can really start to get to you after a while, and it affects, the kind of the way you think about yourself, and you start auditing your life in a way. You kind of start really scrutinizing your pictures and who you think you are and the small things, when in reality, none of those really matter. I know guys and myself, I struggle with pictures a lot. The friend groups that I've had in the past, or people that I have in my life, we don't really just stop and practice taking a million pictures. And I think a lot of guys can relate to that.
Bro, you got to get outside. You got to, if you don't want to date the women who are swiping on you on the dating apps, then you got to get outside and mingle and show your worth in real life. It's not really about the picture, man. It's not. Women are picky as fuck on dating apps. It's women's hypergamy playing out to the extreme on dating apps. If you give an option to a woman, it's in a woman's nature to go after the top thing she could possibly get. And some would say it's human nature, but it's even worse with women as far as dating. If you put 100 men in a room, because think, women didn't choose for most of human history, I feel like. Or if they did choose, they didn't have much to choose from. They kind of just had to just take what was right in front of them, the first dude that hollered or something like that. And then, after that, it was the dads that picked and the families that picked. But it wasn't just a smorgasbord for women throughout most of human history until the past, 50 years, 100 years, somewhere in there. But anyway, anytime you give a woman a situation where she gets to pick her mate out of, let's just say, a room 100 dudes, yeah, she gonna go after the top 5 dudes out of the 100. That's just in her nature to do that. That's why the dad supposed to pick. Because women are naturally going to pick the guy who's going to be the least likely to give them what they want. And that's fucking retarded. And women are usually fucking retarded, and that's why the dad used to pick. But yeah, it's not about you taking the right angle, brother. It's not about that. So basically, especially on dating apps, the market is basically like this. You're either super fucking hot or you're ugly. No in between. That's how women run the dating market when they're in control. You're either super fucking hot, like, oh my God, my pussy is dripping instantly, or you're fucking ugly. Those essentially are the two categories. Now, because let's be clear. If a woman see you and she just like, that's you might as well be ugly. And ugly is basically the same thing in woman's mind. I'm either excited about you, I'm excited to call my girlfriends when I get home from work about you, or I'm not. Two categories. So a 1 is damn near the same as a 7. So if you're a 1 in looks and a 7 in looks, you basically go in the same trash bin to women. I'm not super excited about you, so disregard it. But here's the loophole. If you actually go out and mingle and meet women, you can make up for just being 5'9" or not being that handsome with your mouthpiece. Or maybe super fly outfit and just the way you carry yourself, just how you talk, your intellect. You see, you can get her excited if you go out and mingle in real life. Even being a 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. That's the loophole, so to speak.
But you need to have like these perfect pictures on there. But then even if you get really good photos of yourself, it still doesn't work. Like I have photos where I think I look decent in them. Look like a good 5 or 6. But I still just get nothing back. And, you know, you start thinking about your height and all these things that you can't change, and whether it's your job or what the deal is. Like why do some people get to go on the apps and they have all these matches and then other people don't? And like I said, you know, at the end of the day, it can really make you feel worthless. And then maybe you do get some matches.
See, well, life's unfair, bucko. Yeah. Some people are born rich. Some people are born eating fucking dirt. It's the way the cookie crumbles. There's no point in sitting and wallowing in your own sorrow. And that's another thing. Your whole disposition is fucking pathetic. And I'm not saying it as a diss, but I'm saying on the dating market, if you come in with this energy on the dating market, bro, nobody's gonna be attracted to this. Hey, I'd have a drink with you. I'll be your friend, but we're not talking about me. I'm not judging you as pathetic. I feel where you're coming from. But from a female perspective, you're fucking pathetic. You're weak. You're pathetic. You can't protect. No man walking around on YouTube. No, I'm not walking around. No man sitting on YouTube. No real strong masculine man is sitting on YouTube talking about, poor me. I can't get a date. I feel worthless. Women are fucking disgusted by that. And honestly, I don't blame them. They should be. They should be. I'm coming at it from the perspective of how the world works. I got love for you, brother. Like I said, I'd be your friend. I have a beer with you. I'd help you out in any way I can. I'm not judging you, but the world's gonna call you a punk ass bitch. And I'm not gonna lie and act like I don't see where they're coming from, even though I don't view it like that. Like you sitting on fucking YouTube crying like this ain't where it's at. Men ain't gonna respect you in this world being like that, and women damn sure ain't gonna respect you. Oh, life isn't fair. Why do some dudes get girls and something? Nah, man, nah. And I don't want to touch on this. And a lot of guys fall in this trap. He think a girlfriend is gonna save him and give him a good life. If I only could find a girlfriend, I have a good life. It don't work like that, brother. It don't. I mean, I'm sure it'll be a cool little honeymoon phase, but a woman can't save you from your sucky life. A woman doesn't want to save you from your sucky life. And let me tell you this. Even if somehow you did get a little cute, fit girlfriend or whatever, you're not going to be able to keep her if this is your mentality. That she's supposed to be the thing that makes your life worthwhile. Or she's a girlfriend is going to be the thing that gives you worth. When she sensed that within 3 to 6 months, she fucking out of there. So you got some stuff to work on before you can even maintain a good woman that comes into your life. You're going to have to develop some worth that don't have anything to do with your dating prospects. Get some hobbies, get some friends. Like, you're going to have to get a fucking life and some self-esteem, bro. If not, look, a girlfriend's the least of your worries. But once again, if you somehow sneak your way into a relationship, it's going to fail miserably. It's going to fail miserably based on what I just said.
And you go on some dates. You know, I've went on a few dates in the past. You know, I haven't been on one in a year now, but there was a period where I was really trying to actively use the apps and, you know, kind of see where it led me in life. And some of the dates that you'd go on, you'd get this kind of impression that you were just like a bank machine. And
I'm going to let them cook, but did you hear that? Oh, I went on date naps. He's literally trying to have date naps lead him in life. Does that sound like the type of man who's desirable to women? Even though I know he didn't quite mean it like that, but just think about that. That he even said that. Let's hear that one more time.
And, you know, kind of see where it led me in life. Dates in the past, you know, I haven't been on one in a year now, but there was a period where I was really trying to actively use the apps and, you know, kind of see where it led me in life.
See where it led me in life. A grown-ass man trying to see where a garbage can-ass date nap is going to lead him in life. He used those words for a reason. He's looking for Hinge and Tinder to lead him in life. That sums up everything we need to know. That's why you don't have. That's one of the main reasons. I ain't gonna say it's one of the main reasons you don't have a girlfriend. But that what you just said is going to be the major hindrance in your dating life.
And some of the dates that you'd go on, you'd get this kind of impression that you were just like a bank machine and you were just kind of funding somebody's dinner, somebody's experience to just go out. And the conversations that you were having weren't really interesting at all. You could tell that they've had them just a million times over.
Well, yeah, women aren't interesting people on average. So, see, this is why the red pill is so important. Because he needs to change his mentality in a multitude of ways. But women aren't interesting, buddy. So if you're looking for a woman to be interested, I'm not saying no woman is. But by the time you think she cute and she fit and she interesting, yeah, bruh, she not on the dating market. She's not. And even if you did meet her and she wanted to be with you, you're not going to be able to maintain her, as I just said. But yeah, get over that, bro. Women aren't interesting. Get some guy friends for that. But as far as you being a money machine, I mean, yeah, you got the dorky look. Like I said, I don't think you look bad. I think maybe contacts might help you. Getting in the gym would help you. And getting some edge about yourself when it comes to these hoes would help you. Because women don't respect this super square, clean cut, nice guy. Be a good guy, but don't ever be a nice guy to bitches. It doesn't pay. Now you can do nice things and good things for them once y'all like are cemented. But in the dating phase, nah, you don't ever want to be too nice. Respectful, but never too nice.
You could tell that they've had them just a million times over. And it was hard for me to not get the feeling that I wasn't there just to pay for dinner for somebody just to go out, maybe have like pre-drinks before they go out and actually go out with their actual friend group. That's just kind of what I got from it. Might not have been the case, but that's kind of a feeling that I got when I was going out on dates. And then you end up getting home and you feel worse than before you even went out. So then you start thinking to yourself, what is the point of even dating at that point? If you're not feeling better when you go on the dates, what's the point? You know, and then you go home and then you ultimately think to yourself, like, I just need to keep going and I'll find somebody new. So then you go back to the same thing and you just get back on the apps and you start swiping. And then maybe you think like, oh, maybe it's because I'm on Tinder. Maybe I need to go on Bumble. Maybe, you know, you hear people say like, you're on the wrong apps. You need to go on Hinge. It's designed for people to delete it. It's all gimmicks though, because they're all owned by the same person. They're all dating apps are all owned by Match Group. I've looked into it now and you can watch videos on YouTube. They're all designed by the same thing.
Yeah, you putting too much. You looking up the owners of all the apps and shit. Now, see, yeah, you got to get some hobbies or something, bro. You spending too much time thinking about this shit. Like, yeah, get a new hobby, go to the gym, learn how to cook some new dishes, learn how to fly a plane. You see, women don't want a man who doesn't have like a life or have anything truly interesting about him other than like what he does for a living.
They're all designed to make profit. They're not designed for you to ever delete the app. Why would they? You know, they're designed for you to pay. And for you to pay, you have to have certain feelings induced so that you're desperate and you feel like, you know, maybe if I pay, I'm going to actually get somewhere in this world. And that's all they're designed to do. That's basically it. And if you actually do go and pay, which I did once because I was curious, you know, you got 100+ likes. So you think to yourself, there's got to be a diamond in the rough. Maybe it's worthwhile. And you get.
No, you're not. I already said it. I ain't going to say it again. You're not finding the diamond in the rough as a 7, a 5'9" guy who's a 7 who probably makes 60, 70K. No, see that, and that's what I said at the beginning of this stream. They're trying to cheat the system. If I go on a dating app, I can find a cute girl there, even though I can't attract one in real life. Maybe I'll sneak my way on the dating app and get one. It don't work like that, brother. Now, okay, I'll say this. For guys who are 6, 7s, and 8s, 6s, 7s, and 8s, who are willing to date a chubby 4 or 5 who don't look that good, date naps can work magic. If you're a 6, 7, or if you're a 6, 7, or 8 guy willing to date average to slightly below average 4 or 5 who got a couple extra LBs on her, oh yeah, you could probably find a girlfriend on there. The same thing for women who go on dating apps with realistic standards and are willing to date, a 5 or 6 guy if you got a good head on the shoulder and good conversation and good morals. Oh yeah, dating apps are like a magic bullet for women who have realistic standards and willing to give an average guy a chance. She'll find a boyfriend in 6 weeks max. I'll be right back. I'm gonna let this play. I'll be right back.
So you think to yourself, there's got to be a diamond in the rough. Maybe it's worthwhile, and you give it a shot, and go try it yourself. I can guarantee you, after you swipe through all of that, you're going to be worse off than before you did it. So maybe just don't even do it and just take my advice for it. But that's really the kind of core issues with dating these days that I've found. And like I said in the beginning, I've been alone for a year now, and I'm really curious to hear what other guys and women's experiences are on these apps and just in dating in general. I don't know if many people meet people out in the wild anymore, just kind of walking around. I know from statistics that I've read, it's less than 1% of relationships are actually from, say meeting people, at Home Depot in the aisle or bumping into each other at the grocery store, reaching for the same soy sauce bottle. That just doesn't happen. It's, like I say, less than 1%. So the fact of the matter is the vast majority of the people are meeting people on dating apps or through friends. But if you're like myself, you don't really have any friends, or friend groups that really do anything. Maybe you might have a friend that's a couple hundred miles away one way and a friend that might be another couple hundred miles the other way. Well, you're not really meeting up and doing things. So then you're left by yourself and you're left using the apps. But if they just make you feel worthless afterwards, after a while, you just don't even want to be on them anymore. Because I personally feel better not utilizing any of the apps at all in my life. I never have these immensely lonely nights sitting there staring at people or having empty conversations that don't go anywhere. Or, God forbid you do get into a good conversation with a nice girl and you think like, hey, maybe I might have met somebody here. You end the night on a good note. Sometime during the next day, you open the app up and then they're not even there anymore because they deleted you because they found somebody new. Shiny object syndrome. Nobody's able to actually dedicate time to learning who somebody is and whether they'd be compatible or they want to be with them because there's always Chad or Steve right around the corner. Right? And then just regular guys like you and I, we get screwed. I'm not tall, I'm 5'9". So, by modern day standards, I'm not the catch. I have a good job. I own the townhouse that I live in. I can cook, I clean, I got a wicked dog. On paper, it seems like I would be doing good. But in reality, it's the absolute opposite. It couldn't be farthest from the truth. So like I said, I haven't been on a date in over a year. I don't know when I'll go on another date again. It's actually kind of getting to the point to where, I'm not scared to go on a date. It's just, I don't want to waste my time anymore. I'm scared to waste my time and my money and my energy on a date that doesn't go anywhere. Or it's not that it has to go anywhere. It just, they don't seem like they would have like the ability or the option to go anywhere. It just seems so dead end and like such a waste of time. And, at the end of the day, eventually you just get done feeling like shit. And that's what those apps do. I swear, is that you think to yourself, like, I'm going to go on them and meet people and feel better and have all these people to talk to, and that's just the way things go. But for some reason, it is the absolute opposite. The opposite occurs. You end up feeling worse about yourself. You end up feeling insecure about your height. You think you're ugly, that there's all these issues with you. Maybe your nose is too big, your hair doesn't look right. You can nitpick yourself to death, when in reality, maybe there's nothing really wrong with you. And you're actually a good catch. But the way that society and modern dating is set up is just stacked against you. And
respectfully, bro, you're not a good catch. You're not a bad guy. But objectively, like, no. I wouldn't want my female family member to date you. You need to get your mind stronger, get your mind right, get some hobbies, get more of a get some self-esteem, more of a leadership mindset. Probably not a bad dating option, but it's somewhere in the middle. I mean, there's some things wrong with you, and the dating market is fucked up. But anyway, let's move on.
Alright boys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're mixing it up. Young men are slowly giving up and nobody cares. You can find the original video linked in the video description to go and support the creator. Let's stick around for a rant.
Hey guys, so I'm gonna get a bit personal here. I recently saw my dad for the first time in 7 years, and it scared me. He had, like, no friends. I asked him, don't you keep in touch with your old friends from work or new friends from...
Here, let me use the other video, because, I mean, we definitely ain't going over 42 minutes, so hold on.
Alright boys, to go and support.
And it scared me. He had, like, no friends. I asked him, don't you keep in touch with your old friends from work or new friends from work? And he was like, no. No. And I had overheard my mom refer to our family friends as her friends rather than her and my dad's friends. And I asked her why she said that. And she just looked at me and went, after the divorce, how many of them even stayed in touch with your dad? And that was true. And I'm starting to see young guys who seem like they're going to grow up to be a lot like my dad.
Okay, so the part that is missing out here is when a lot of guys get married, they are isolated from their friendship groups by the women that they marry. That's something that's not talked about enough.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, you just get busy with life, kids, and responsibilities and work. So I can see how you and your friend group kind of fall off if you had one. But yeah, don't let a bitch isolate you from your friends. Like, oh, I really want to go out and I got free time to do it, but I can't because my girl won't let me. I mean, yeah, at that point, you're just a punk ass bitch. But yeah, let's continue.
So initially, when you're in the early stages of dating, courting, she's perfect.
Do you know what group in America has the lowest suicide rate? Black women. Do you know why? Because they always report having a lot of really close friends. I think everyone is misunderstanding the male loneliness epidemic, so I want to break down what's really going on and what I've seen happening. So pre-industrial societies and even early to moderately industrial societies are extremely social. I was able to spend some time in a Costa Rican hospital that treats the indigenous population there, and those communities are nothing but relationships. I remember stopping by this little shop, and it was run by like 3 generations of Costa Rican women, all working together with like children playing in the front. Essentially every moment of their lives they spent with each other. I don't think any of them so much as owned a computer. Similarly, one of my college professors worked in Lebanon, and he told me that kids did not stop talking and like punching and playing with each other until they went to sleep. But as soon as societies industrialized, people began to meet their needs through the marketplace or through the government, rather than their immediate friends and parents and aunts and uncles. And so suddenly, for basically the first time in human history, relationships became optional. You only spent time with people if you wanted to. But the problem
I'll think about it. Let's talk about guys in relationships, especially the point that I was alluding to earlier. Think about you guys who might be single, or you might be, you might.
I don't even know what I wanted to go over with this video, but we're gonna see if I can find it, and then we're gonna let me skip through it. Matter of fact, we're gonna just skip this. Everybody hit the like button. Shout out to Christopher. Let me read some comments real quick. Let's see. All right. So let's talk about how long have I been on? Let's talk about the title of the stream. Are women just naturally mean people? In my opinion, kinda, yeah. Why do I think that is? Well, because women are kind of like the ultimate elitist. Uh, once they feel like they have some status for whatever reason, they're usually going to treat anybody who doesn't have that status like shit, in my opinion. It's a way of, and I think this goes for men too. It's a way of kind of maintaining the hierarchy. Like, I don't ever want to lose this spot in the hierarchy. So anybody lesser than me, hey, I want the whole room to know this motherfucker right here is a lame and he ain't never gonna be in my spot. Like, we gotta establish that. It's almost like out of insecurity of losing your spot, or you being deemed lame, or you being shunned from the group. That's a part of the reason why I think so many women could be so mean, especially like attractive women. They want to make sure the hierarchy is thoroughly established. Um, yeah, let's y'all can leave me your theories below about why you think so many women are just mean. I guess here's my other theory. They're just controlled by emotions. They're slaves to their emotions. And as humans, we have a lot of negative emotions. So there's a good chance that while you're in that room or while you're interacting with that woman, at some point, she's going to be feeling some negative emotions, which can make her be mean. Or there's a good chance that she's just, when you come across her, that she's just going to be mad about something, one thing or another. Her boyfriend just left her, Chad won't call her back, got laid off from her job, the bitch at her job keep fucking with her. It's going to be something usually. They're slaves to emotions. A lot of them are anxious. They're slaves to their nerves. And that manifested them being mean bitches a lot of times. Those are the two theories I have on why women just seem to be so inherently mean.
Let's get rid of the creepers. You dirty ass creepers.
There's nothing more that I hate in this world than a creepy man, and a creepy man who knows that he's being creepy but he won't stop. The other day at the gym, obviously, there was a creepy man because they're everywhere, and he could tell.
Okay, let's just. Well, okay, obviously she's a cunt, an airheaded cunt. So she says, obviously she came across a creepy man because they're everywhere. Let me tell you the definition of a creepy man to a woman. Y'all could guess it. Pretty much, I'm not gonna say any guy that's not a Chad necessarily, but essentially that is kind of what it is. Any guy that's not a Chad or Tyrone is potentially creepy. But I'll tell you the moment you officially become creepy. You're already potentially creepy for not being above 8, 9, or 10. Or I'm sorry, you're already potentially creepy for being below a 8 as far as what she's attracted to. But then what officially makes you a creep is if you do anything by her or that has anything to do with her, look at her, stand too close to her, anything like that. That's when you officially become a creep. So if you stare 1 second too long and you're not an 8, 9, or 10, creep. If you got too close to me as a woman who thinks she's attractive, creep. So don't feel bad if you get deemed a creep by a woman. The bar is pretty low to be deemed a creep. But based on her perspective, yeah, creeps are everywhere. They're the bottom 90% of men on the planet. So yeah, she's right. Based on her perspective, creeps are everywhere. AKA guys below 8, 9, or 10 are everywhere.
Creepers. You dirty ass creepers.
There's nothing more that I hate in this world than a creepy man, and a creepy man who knows that he's being creepy but he won't stop. The other day at the gym, obviously, there was a creepy man because they're everywhere, and he could tell that he was making me really uncomfortable, but he continued to be creepy.
Once again, this woman's a complete fucking idiot. But what is she basing that off of? Oh, he knew he was being creepy, but he kept being a creep. I mean, I don't know if she means that he knew that she didn't like whatever he was doing, but I'm just gonna go with she's lying about that part. Possibly didn't know he was being creepy, aka existing anywhere in her vicinity.
And so what I did was I just started barking at him. Honestly, like, girls, you just have to start barking at them, and it worked. He went away after that.
This is a complete lie. Things that never happened for 5,000, Alex. I highly, highly, highly doubt it happened. But then on the other hand, I can't believe it happened because these bitches are retarded. So I can see her retarded ass barking at the gym. I'll be right back.
Just start barking at them. It's the only solution moving forward. There's nothing.
Alrighty, this is another episode 1436 of things that never happened. Women making stuff up on TikTok. But creepy man, what's a creepy man? Creepy man is the only difference of creepy man and Mr. Dreamboat is creepy man's not attractive. That's it. Here we go.
I just canceled a date with a man like 15 minutes before I was supposed to be on the date. And you can tell me if you think I was wrong for this. So some context. I live on the beach, and by my house there's like a boardwalk type of situation. I was walking my dog on the boardwalk, this other guy walking his dog. Our dogs say hi to each other. My dog is being a menace, as he does. He's jumping all over this guy's dog, but this guy's dog is huge, so it's kind of funny. We end up talking for like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. He's like a very good looking guy, very funny, very charismatic. End of this conversation, he asked for my number. I give him my number. That was like 2 days ago. And then yesterday he texted me, asked if I wanted to get a drink tonight. I said, sure. He was like, can you do 5? I'm like, no, I have plans with my friend, but I could do like 6:30. He sent me 2 places. Like, we were like chatting a little bit, planning this thing. So in the course.
Oh, women who have got 100,000 miles on the clock. 500,000, we'll up it to 500,000. They want you to go and select places and give them to her so she can make a selection and then provide you back with instruction on what to book for her. You're going to be joking. Guys, once again, I'm going to have to throw your wallets in the river. I'm cutting up your cards. I'm calling up your financial institution. We're going to put a block on your spending. You keep going, the SRI extraction team is going to come and take you to the re-education centre.
Of planning this.
All right, let's run this one back because I wanted to go over this one. Yeah, let's run that one back. Shout out to everybody for watching. Let me see. These bitches need to understand they can't dictate who gets to use the public space. Facts. I'm sick of these gym stories. Buy a set of barbells and work out at home so you can work out dressed like a whore in private. Facts.
Of creepy man and Mr. Dreamboat is creepy man's not attractive. That's it. Here we go.
I just canceled a date with a man like 15 minutes before I was supposed to be on the date. And you can tell me if you think I was wrong for this. So some
First off, ma'am, how old are you? You look too old to still be on the date market, to say the least. She looked like 37, 38. Y'all let me know what you think below. Look, here's the thing. If I had to take a wild guess, I would say she's not a good woman romantically because she's still single with wrinkles. Bars. I mean, if a woman's still single with wrinkles, she's probably not a good dating option. She's cute enough. She had dudes knocking down her door since she was 15. She's at least 35. 20 years of failure means not a good dating option. Well, let's continue. So who gives a fuck if you cancel the date? He didn't miss out on anything. But let's see what she's talking about.
Man, like 15 minutes before I was supposed to be on the date. And you can tell me if you think I was wrong for this. So, some context. I live on the beach, and by my house there's like a boardwalk type of situation. I was walking my dog on the boardwalk, this other guy walking his dog. Our dogs say hi to each other. My dog is being a menace, as he does. He's jumping all over this guy's dog, but this guy's dog is huge, so it's kind of funny. We end up talking for like, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. He's like a very good looking guy, very funny, very charismatic. End of this conversation, he asked for my number. I give him my number. That was like 2 days.
What do I always tell y'all? They only tell stories about dudes who are tall and very good looking. So by the time we're hearing about a guy on TikTok or on Instagram Reel or whatever, it's a safe assumption he's tall and handsome off top. That's the entry fee to even get the number. And then they wonder why they're single. Let's pull this up. Because this doesn't account for attractiveness, but let's just go 30 to 45. Exclude married. Let's just say white. 6 foot. Not obese. Let's just say we don't know how much he may get. Or no, we'll put a price on it to try to account for him being handsome. So yeah, 15% of the white population in that age range. So essentially, and let's just say only 20% of men are handsome. So we gotta take 80% off of that. So what's 80% of 15? I should know that off the top of my head. What's 80% of 15? So yeah, we gotta take 12 off that 15 off top. So essentially, be a top 3%er before you can even get my number. And they're wondering why they're single. Because by the time he got this, award-winning personality, we're talking about that at least got to be another 20% off. So, look, we talk about a less than 1%er. For you to get to the point where, you can take them out on multiple dates and they're genuinely considering you as a boyfriend. Do you think this is a top 1% woman, everybody? I didn't think so. So we figured out her dating woes.
My dog is being a menace, as he does. He's jumping all over this guy's dog, but this guy's dog is huge, so it's kind of funny. We end up talking for like, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. He's like a very good looking guy, very funny, very charismatic. End of this conversation.
Not just good looking, everybody. Very good looking and very funny and charismatic. Why would he still be single at 30, 35? By the time a dude very charismatic and getting a chick number in public, that's a player and a fuckboy. So they're literally weeding out 4 players and fuck boys. Their requirement, damn near, by that logic, is for you to be a fuck boy or to be a guy who's literally the most likely to be a fuck boy out of any other guy in the world. That's what she what's the word I would look for? I mean, yeah, she weeds out for that, and then she wonder why she keep running into jerks. Yeah, if he's 35, single, very good looking, and very charismatic and very funny, coming up hollering at bitches, yeah, it's a fuck boy.
He asked for my number, I gave him my number. That was like 2 days ago. And then yesterday he texted me, asked if I wanted to get a drink tonight. I said, sure. He was like, can you do 5? I'm like, no, I have plans with my friend, but I could do like 6:30. He sent me 2 places. Like we were like chatting a little bit, planning this thing. So in the course.
Oh.
And keep in mind, like X said, she literally kicked. I mean, we don't know what happened yet. And I've seen this in advance, so I'll give my opinion on that. But what would y'all rate her? 5 at best? I mean, I don't think she's ugly, but I mean, this is her dressed down or done down, no makeup, hair not done, whatever. Let's just say 6 on her best day, right? Like on her absolute best day. But generally speaking, we can just call it average at best, give or take a point or two. So imagine being average at best, but being, I ain't gonna say she was so quick to kick Mr. 0.5 to the curb, but that's how spoiled for choice these women are, or how delusional they are, however you want to look at it, where they think they have the luxury. Now, I'm not saying she got to date every tall, handsome, funny dude she meet, because they might be on some bullshit in other ways. But imagine feeling like you got enough options and you so much of the shit that you can just dismiss so many dudes. Because think, before you even can get her number, you got to be Mr. 1%. So think of the ego to even have those standards. Let alone now, once he meet the barrier of entry, you still about to be picky as fuck. All being the average Jane of average Janes. The most average Jane of average Janes. And this is what gonna keep these, and this is what's gonna keep these goofballs single for life.
Women who have got 100,000 miles on the clock, 500,000, we'll up it to 500,000. They want you to go and select places and give them to her so she can make a selection and then provide you back with instruction on what to book for her. You're going to be joking. Guys, once again, I'm going to have to throw your wallets in the river. I'm cutting up your cards. I'm calling up your financial institution. We're going to put a block on your spending. You keep going, the SRI extraction team is going to come and take you to the re-education centre.
Of planning this date, which is we're going to drinks, I mentioned to him, I'm like, also FYI, like I don't really drink, but like I'm down to get a mocktail or like a little appetizer. And like, not that I think you're obligated to say anything if you don't drink, but I've had guys be so weird if they ask me on a drinks date and then I get a mocktail that it's just like almost not worth it to me to not say anything and have a guy be insane. So
right, because the dudes you weed out for, and it's another word I'm looking for. So yeah, the dudes you weed out for are going to be the most likely to be the guys who are just trying to get you drunk and fuck and never see you again. You pre-select for that. That's the word I'm looking for. You pre-select for the men who are going to be the most likely to want to just get you drunk, fuck you for the night, and bounce. So that's why, yeah, they act weird. Yeah, the guys that you pre-select for are going to act weird when you say you don't drink. Makes total sense to me.
I think you're obligated to say anything if you don't drink, but I've had guys be so weird if they ask me on a drinks date and then I get a mocktail that it's just like almost not worth it to me to not say anything and have a guy be insane. So I say that, he's like, yeah, no problem, it'll be fun. He texts me like a half hour before a date and he's like, hey, just FYI, I'm running like 10 minutes late. I was walking the dog got like fixated on something and delayed me. Literally no problem. I text him back, I'm like, oh my gosh, been there, all good. See you soon. He responds, see you soon, excited to get you drunk on a school night. I reply, I'm like, haha, like I said, I don't drink. He says, we'll see about that, with a winky face. Already annoying, but I'm like, let me not jump to conclusions. He's probably just trying to be funny. And I said, I'm sure you're just joking, but really, I'm not gonna drink. And he says, like I said, I'll change your mind. To which I responded, I just want to make sure that this is a joke and we're doing a bit. And he said, I'm very convincing. Trust me, you'll have more fun if you have a drink. Immediately no. I said, if you're serious, I don't think we should go out anymore. Have a good night. And he said, okay, bet. Hello?
Cry. I don't give a fuck. It's funny, if anything.
I've been dating since I'm 16. Where is he?
She ain't nothing but a low-class, white trash. She probably didn't even finish high school.
Girl, you know that's the truth.
So let's take it slow. So like I already clocked it. He was just some Chad trying to fuck, of course. But okay, I agree with her. I agree with her. But ma'am, this is gonna keep happening to you. But I agree. He was trying to pressure her to drink. She kept saying, "Bro, I'm not gonna drink." He was being weird. But see, Mr. Point Five can afford to be weird because he got bitches on deck. He was just trying to line up some pussy for Wednesday night. He don't see when you that dude and you get action from bitches all the time. You could just message a bitch on Tinder. You sucking his dick tonight or what? Because you got 10 and 15 bitches on your line, and one of them gonna come through and suck it. So you don't care if she get offended or if she reports you because you just don't give a fuck because you got hoes. And even if you get banned from Tinder, look, you got hoes on Hinge. And even if you get banned from all the social media sites, hoes approach you at the bar. So yeah, you can be hella bold when you got hoes. But most men don't got hoes, so that's why they, most dudes gotta make sure they're saying the right thing and don't fuck it up. But look, I'll admit, she's not wrong though. That was weird. Like, damn, I said I ain't drinking, dude, damn. But you're gonna keep running into this. So date a guy on your level or keep getting fucked over and keep getting used for sex at best.
Like, you're not going to convince me, a person who essentially doesn't drink. I drink maybe like 1 to 2 times a year and have half of a glass of wine, that I should go get drunk with you because you are convincing. Already pushing boundaries before we've been on the date is crazy. Diabolical. And I'm like, do I need to go on this date where this man is going to spend the next hour, hour and a half trying to convince me to drink? Not really. Goodbye. But yeah, wild. I just canceled a date with a man, like,
very wild. The guy wanted to go drinking. She didn't want to drink. This is what you get when women have been on the dating market for too long. They get belligerent. They get very quick to anger, very quick to cut a guy off at the knees. As I said, cutting him off 15 minutes before the date. The smallest things will ruffle their feathers. Not getting what they want time and time again does this to them. And this is what starts to happen when they're in their 30s. All right, so I had this one on yesterday's video, but it was towards the back and only played a certain section of it. So essentially, this woman's gone on a date. She's taped the whole interaction. The dude's comment and sharing. Consider subscribing if you want to get daily notifications of my daily video drops. If you want to support the channel further, check out the locals page, linked in the video description. 150 exclusive videos that cannot be found anywhere else, completely uncensored. If you want to know what I look like, well, you'll see on there. If you want to talk to me, you can book in a call through the Calendly link. Thank you very much. Let's continue. All right, here we go.
Well, I had quite the unsavory interaction with a man today. I had a meeting in Beverly Hills earlier, and I stopped in at a cafe afterwards to grab a little cafe latte and a little snack. And I'm there sitting, minding my own business, just editing my TikToks on my phone. I just see this suit roll up in my purview. I look up, and there's a man in a suit. He was saying something to me. I had my headphones in. I take my headphones off. I'm like, yes? And he's like, hi, I'm sorry to bother you. Are you sorry you bothered me? And he's like, I just...
So you're already a cunt. Are you sorry you bothered me? Already a cunt. I mean, tattoos, jailhouse tattoos over your arm. Here, just one more point I wanted to make about the last chick. Okay. And this is just me basically rehashing the shit I always say. By the time a woman gets 30, let's just say let's just say 30. By the time a woman gets 30, she's gonna run into like 3 problems. Okay. First off, the good guys are taken. Okay? Let's start there. So a woman's single at 30, that's a big part of her problem right there. Most of the good guys are going to be taken. Okay, number 2. The guys who seem good at first conversation and aren't taken are going to be fuckboys. That's going to be her other big problem over 30. Okay? And then here's her last biggest problem. Women trying to date over 30, 35. Okay, you meet a guy. He's tall, he's handsome, he's charismatic, he's funny, aka Mr. Point 5. And he's single. And he's not a fuck boy. And you really found a diamond in the rough. He's actually looking for something serious. Can y'all guess what her third problem is gonna be? Her third and final, well, not final, but the third major problem is gonna be. Even after she meet that guy who isn't a fuck boy, who is, whatever, a top 1% or whatever. Can y'all drop it in the chat? Y'all been watching my channel long enough. What's the third problem gonna be? Let's do the Jeopardy meme while y'all drop some answers. Ding, 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 ding. Yep. Flower and X got it right. He's not going to want her. Why isn't he going to want her? Because she's 30 and single, and there's a reason why she's 30 and single, because she's not a good woman. Now, he's 30 and single because a lot of women aren't good women, and his bitch probably cheated on him or just was on so much fuck shit he finally left. See, there can be a lot of decent guys on the dating market over 30, over 40. And it's not that they're bad guys. It's that they likely had bad women. Because most women are bad. Let's be real. Let's break that down. And then I'm going to give y'all the fourth roadblock as far as having success on the dating market for women over 30. But let's talk about it. Most women aren't good women in relationships. Even women who are like kind of all right, I still wouldn't call them good. You know, their man would still be somewhat justified in leaving, even though they aren't terrible. They definitely aren't good. I would say maybe 10% of women are actually good girlfriends, are actually good wives that a dude would be stupid for leaving. That's only like 10% of women in America. So there's plenty of good men who find themselves, single at a certain point because most bitches ain't shit. But the opposite isn't true. If a woman's still single at 30 and 40, it's because specifically she's one of those, let me not say 10%. Let's be optimistic today. Let's say 25% of girlfriends and wives are actually good women that you would be stupid for leaving. If you're single at 30, it's damn near guaranteed you're not one of those 25%ers. A woman single over 25 is the red flag that you shouldn't fuck with her. But the same isn't true for men. Because most men, even if they're not good people per se, most men would be good to their woman. Including most bad men, who I would deem bad men in other areas. So that's the dating market over 30. A bunch of bad dudes and decent dudes with pretty much all bad women. So okay, dating market over 30 is, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's put a percentage on it. Dating market over 30. So DOT. Dating market over 30. Let's say let's see. You're gonna have I would say 40% like bad guys, like they're not relationship material, shouldn't fuck with them in a serious way. Um, um, let's do this. Let's just say 50%. I call these guys just, they're not bad guys. I mean, they're just kind of average Joes. Women aren't really, I wouldn't necessarily call them the best. They're just kind of average guys. And then 10%, like the highly desirable, high value men across the board. Highly desirable to women. He a good dude, good heart, make money. Like this is the guy that these bitches are looking for. And then that's the male side. And on the women's side, it's pretty much 95% bad women. This is the dating market over 30. So with that being said, let me tell y'all the fourth biggest problem that women have on the dating market over 30. Even when she finally say, fuck it, I'm going to settle for this dude or one of these dudes. Look, she will never respect him. She's going to treat him like shit. She's going to be miserable. And the two options are I mean, yeah, she could stay with him, but y'all know what happened when she stayed with him. I got a meme for what'll happen if she stayed with him.
She knows her value has dropped, right? And pay attention, because this is where women end up in complete misery for the rest of their lives. Once they end up in these age brackets and have to get married after 27, 28, 29, 30, she knows that any man who will happily take her on must be of lower value. Why? Because she is now of lower value. The woman now has to weigh her options. Do I just keep living alone and all my friends are married and do have kids and now I'm just alone with my cats, wine, and buffalo burgers and prescription medications? Or get with this guy who must be clearly low value because he's fucking with me. A woman over 28, 29, 30 and or a single mother woman will never love you. You are not what she wanted. You can't be. Okay, in her eyes, you can never be that.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Okay, so I really want to break something down real quick with this artistic display. So these bad women go over to the bad guy. Well, you know, we hear about those results all the time. You know, it's not going to be good. Misery. Okay, cool. You know, he's going to fuck her over, fuck her, use her. She's going to be more bitter, jaded. So we know where that leads. And keep in mind, she's already a bad woman from the jump at this point. So she's starting off bad. We know how it goes. She go with the bad boy. If she go with the average dude, she's either going to sabotage it, cheat on him, or leave him, or stay and make his life a living hell because she feels like her life is a living hell. So that's a bad situation. Okay, now let's think about another option. If one of these bad women, for some reason, find enough charisma or trickery to actually lock down a high value man single over 30. He's eventually going to realize she's a bad woman and leave her. Or this is going to happen. If I can find it. Yeah, if he doesn't leave her for some reason, let's say that Mr. High Value falls in love with this bad woman and want to stay no matter what, this is gonna happen.
I sold on Mr. Bash her. I'm just talking about like women in general when they hit this shit in life. Like it's the same shit every fucking time for that category of woman. Either they end up the town bicycle or they end up the whole other extreme and no man's ever good enough. Even if this woman finds the exact guy that she's looking for, who's better than her, who's ambitious and has goals and dreams and aspirations. Okay, he's 6 foot tall, 6-pack abs, 12-inch dick, former Olympian, former astronaut, drives a Bugatti. Let's say she finds this exact man. What will a woman do after that? She will become incredibly insecure and doubt why that great man is fucking with a 3-year-old woman who couldn't keep a man for the last 15 years. That's exactly what she's gonna do. And she's gonna destroy the relation. She'll find a way to destroy it because her self-esteem is so fucked up that she knows she can't keep him. That's exactly what she's gonna end up back out there, single as fuck. Hey, living my best life. Boss babe. She gonna end up back on the internet. That's where she's going. And you can't help them. At this point, all you can do is hope she's either gonna be a town bicycle, and just have your turn with her and use her as a side bitch, Or, or hope she just shuts the fuck up and ends up, with some dude that she really don't like, but she's just shutting the fuck up and at least he's housing her type of shit. And just keep her out of the fucking bit. Just keep her over there somewhere. Just go work at a call center. Just get the fuck away from society because you ain't gonna do nothing but piss people off. All right. Shutting the fuck up and at least he's housing her type of shit. And just keep her out of the fucking pit. Just keep her over there somewhere.
Yeah, so look, I'm gonna get off here. I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for stopping by. I'll be Sensei out.